My lord, I'm afraid you were right when you said these hostilities wouldn't end at Przemyslowice.
That comes as no surprise.
What has happened?
The men reported 2 more attacks today.
Ah, Henry. I'm glad you're here. It seems like we'll have another task for you. Come and join us.
My lord.
Greetings, lad.
The bandits raided a few remote hamlets, but that's the least of our worries. They also attacked Merhojed, and that's a much more serious matter.
Merhojed. Matthias is working there.
They attacked right after the battle in Przemyslowice. Bastards were probably trying to prove they're still strong. But there's a silver lining. The villagers held them off, and they even took 1 captive. He's wounded, but we can still interrogate him.
Your Graces, I hope I'm not intruding.
On the contrary, Master Tobias. Unlike Bernard, you are the bearer of good tidings. Or so I gather from the coin you carry. Tell me, how many groschen did we find in Przemyslowice?
My lord, I'm sorry, but my news is no better than Captain Bernard's. These coins are very good. That is to say, well-made facsimiles, as we call them.
What? I don't give a what you call them. I want to know what they're facking worth.
That's just it, sir. They're worth nothing.
Are you saying what I think you're saying, Master Tobias? This here
is just a pile of copper.
Kurva! Fuck!
Plated with silver, so it's still of some worth.
Kurva! Fuck!
Is it a lot of work to make such counterfeits, Master Tobias?
I should say so, sir. Highly demanding work. Especially to make such plausible forgeries. They would need a well-hidden foundry, several craftsmen, and a source of material.
But they could just be brought in from somewhere else, could they not?
Well, they could, but then again, the silver mines are nearby, and these groschen seem freshly minted, so...
So we are facing a foe who has almost limitless sources of coin. That's all we need.
Doppeltel.
Well, gentlemen, it's clear what we have to do. Interrogate that captive bandit, find out their numbers, and promptly cut off their supply of money. Otherwise, they'll soon have another encampment.
If they haven't already.
I doubt it, sir. Merhojed wouldn't have been able to hold them off if they did.
Well, lad, I said we'd have work for you, but it never crossed my mind there would be this much. You've already proved your worth as an investigator, so I'm putting my faith in you again. Go to Merhojed and question that captive. Find out where those brigands are hiding, how many there are, and what they're planning. And while you're at it, see if you can find some clues as to where this counterfeit coin is coming from.
Very well, sir.
Good luck. We're counting on you. All of us. Come report to me as soon as you know anything. I'll be at the lookout point near Talmberg.
What's happened here?
Things are bad. Very bad. First we get attacked by them brigands, barely come out of that alive. And now, the plague.
Plague, you say?
Indeed so. Something's up with the village. Even the livestock are dying. It's a gruesome sight.
I'm looking for Matthias. He works as a stable hand at the stud farm.
Matthias. The brigands got him. Poor lad. He's lying wounded at the stud.
Tell me more about this plague. It sounds terrible.
Worse than you can imagine. The whole stud, livestock, sheep, chickens, all dead or dying. No doubt the people will be next. Melikar's old woman's taken to her bed, and it doesn't look good. Straw's wife and brother. More and more.
I'm sorry to hear it. Where will I find Melikar?
If you stand at the main gate of the stables and look across the road, Melikar's is the house on the left.
Thanks. That'll be all for now.
Farewell.
Are you Melikar?
Aye, that's me.
I need to speak with the prisoner.
And why is that? Who might you be?
Henry, envoy of Sir Jezhek Kobyla. I'm here to investigate the attack.
I'm sorry. I have other things on my mind right now. In case you hadn't noticed, we have pestilence raging here. And Sir Jezhek won't help us with that, any more than he helped us when we were attacked.
No one could have known what would happen.
If Sir Jezhek hadn't pissed off into the woods and stayed in the camp, they would never have dared attack us.
If Sir Jezhek hadn't gone into the woods, he'd have left so many to attack here that you'd never have fought them off.
It makes no odds now. We've a different problem to deal with.
If there's anything I can do, just tell me.
There's a stable hand living with us here, Matthias.
Yes, I know him.
And he knows some girl who helps out in the monastery infirmary. Johanka, I think her name is. She might know someone to turn to, if she's actually there.
Very well. I'll go to the monastery. It's probably our best hope.
Thank you. At least for taking the trouble. But then, even if you cared nothing for us, the prisoner's got the pestilence too. He'll die without help.
If I have to go to the monastery, I need to know as much as possible about the disease. I'll definitely need to know its symptoms. They're bound to ask me that.
It's hard to say. My wife is feverish. Others have the chills. I heard some are throwing up. Others still are breaking out in sores. But why don't you see for yourself? People talk a lot and I don't know what to believe anymore.
Very well. I'll make the rounds.
I've daubed lime on the afflicted houses, but don't stay too long in those homes.
That I can promise you.
Take care now.
Hal? You're a sight for sore eyes. What are you doing here?
It's good to see you too, Matthias. Sir Jezhek sent me here to investigate the raid.
Sir Jezhek? Looks like you've come up in the world, mate. You're here as his envoy?
He took me into his garrison.
Hal, the blacksmith's boy, in the service of his lordship. Who'd have ever thought it? My luck hasn't been so good.
You survived. That's something to thank God for.
True enough. If I were in your shoes, I'd get the hell out of here. There's some disease spreading.
Disease?
Folk are saying it's the plague. Whatever it is, it's bad. It started the day after the raid. First the horses got sick, then other animals, and now people are falling ill too.
Oh, damn! About this sickness. When did this plague start?
The day after the raid. The horses were lying down in the stable, so we knew something was up. By afternoon, they were all dead. Then other animals started getting sick, one after the other, and then people.
What are the signs that someone's getting sick?
I don't leave the house much, but folk complain of fever and shakes. Some are throwing their guts up, and others are spewing from the other end.
Has anyone died from it?
Aye, old Verba. Although he was already on his last legs, so no one knows for sure if it was the plague that got him. Either way, the animals are dropping like flies, and people will end up the same for sure.
Who's ill now?
I don't know. What with my arm the way it is, I don't go outdoors much. But I know Melikar and Straw have sick ones at home.
Can I ask you a bit about Merhojed?
I haven't been here long enough to learn much, but ask away.
Tell me about the raid.
What do you want to know?
I hear one of the raiders was taken captive. I'd like to question him.
Aye, old Menhart let him have it over the head with a flail, and now he's locked up in the barn. But be careful.
Why's that?
That fucker killed young Straw, and his old man's sharpening his sickle for him. Menhart still hasn't decided what to do with him.
I can tell you what he'll do with him. He'll hand him over to Sir Jezhek's envoy. Me.
I doubt Menhart will let him go willingly. The folk here are baying for blood. Lives have been lost. First the raid, and now this plague. God knows what they'll do.
They can all go to the devil!
Johanka?
Henry?
I'm glad to see you.
Me too. I heard that you're doing well.
Not right now. Matthias sent me.
Matthias? My god, did something happen?
I don't know if you've heard about it, but Merhojed was attacked.
Oh god! How is Matthias?
Wounded in the arm. He's being brave about it, but his injury looks bad.
I need to see him.
Before you go, there's something else.
What?
Some kind of disease has taken hold in Merhojed. Their livestock has died off, and now the people are coming down with it too. I thought maybe someone here might know what to do.
Merciful heavens. How awful. It's a good thing you've come here. If there's any hope, this is the place to find it. You need Brother Nicodemus, the monastery physician. He may know how to deal with it.
Very well, I'll try to find him.
Come back when you know more.
Thank you, Johanka. Some kind of disease has taken hold in Merhojed. Johanka said that you might be able to advise.
A disease, you say? How intriguing.
Intriguing? It's terrifying.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to sound uncaring.
All right. The important thing is whether you can help us.
I can't say at this point. I need to find out a little more. Tell me, has the whole village come down with it?
No, I mean, not yet. Several households have, around half the village.
Merhojed? Isn't there a stud farm there? And what of the animals? Did they get infected too?
Yes, there's a stud farm. And they've all died off. The horses, the cattle, chickens, and now it's got to the people.
That is most intriguing. Sorry, I mean to say it's most unusual. Do you know the symptoms?
Yes, more or less.
Excellent. I have several extensive volumes here in the library. Describe the epidemic, including the symptoms, and we could take some guidance there. Can you read?
Yes, I can.
Excellent. So follow me to the scriptorium.
So, where shall we start?
Evidently there's something amiss in the digestive tract.
In the what?
The digestive tract, Henry.
Right.
The trouble lies between the mouth and the arsehole.
Uh-huh. Sure. Just so.
We can rule nothing out at this stage. You look in the Breviarum de Sickness Causa. It's a renowned manuscript from Salerno, written by one Johann of St. Paul.
But I don't know Latin.
Fortunately for you, our brother librarian is translating these momentous medical works into the common tongue, so you can still be of use. Study the breviary carefully, and compare the symptoms with the recorded cases. That will guide us. I'll try the proven classics, Avicenna and his Canon Medicinae, and Galen's magnum opus, the Ars Medicinalis. May the Lord watch. It's a complete mystery to me.
I won't get any sleep. I just won't get any sleep.
A peculiar case. Whatever can it be? Febris e causa ignota.
I can't. I just can't.
Lord, oh Lord, what times we live in. Yes, that would make sense.
I won't get any sleep. I just won't get any sleep.
I think I have it.
Yes? And what do you make of it?
It's poisoning from tainted water.
Really? That sounds rather unlikely. But if Master Johann of St. Paul's says so, who am I to contradict him? We shall have to prepare some medicine at once.
I don't think I can help out with that.
I didn't expect you could. You surprised me quite enough with your reading. But enough chatter. Time is of the essence. I'll get to work brewing the potion, and then head straight to Merhojed with your hunker. I expect we'll meet there?
That works for me. But can't I help in some way?
Best spend the time praying. We can always use God's help.
Lord, what are you punishing me for?
So
Lord,
here I am.
please
How are things looking?
It's a good thing you're here. We need a helping hand. You can take the cure to the villagers and make sure they take the right dose. I'll take care of Melekar and Straw. You go round the rest of the houses. They wouldn't let me go near that prisoner. They want him to suffer. Despite his terrible crimes, to treat a fellow mortal soul like that.
Yeah, can he?
Perhaps I'll be able to convince them. I promised I'd bring them help, and I've kept my word. They must let me go to him.
I hope so, but in the short while I've been here, I've found the locals to be rather stubborn.
May the Lord watch over.
Now let's wait and see what happens.
Mama.
Welcome back to the land of the living.
Fuck off before I lose my temper.
Who are you?
My name is Henry, and I'm investigating on behalf of Sir Jezhek Kobala.
Oh, I see. You'll have an easy job with me, boy.
How so?
I won't give you any problems.
That's sensible of you.
I'm a sensible man. Only I'd like to get it over quick and not keep the Ratte executioner busy too long, if you catch my drift.
I understand.
What do you want to know?
Everything. First, tell me who's behind all this. Who do you follow?
I follow the coin, lad. We all do.
That's not news to me, but who pays the coin?
I got my pay from Runt, like all the men in Pribyslavitz. And Runt got his money from the chief. and the chief had the coin minted.
Who's the chief? The bandit leader?
Bandit? If he heard you say that, he'd have your head on a spike. That's the kind of man he is. Nobody knows much about him, though. Only that he ain't Czech.
So he's a foreigner? German?
Don't think so. For sure he ain't Czech. And he's got plenty of coin. I'd stake my neck on it. He's got noble blood in his veins.
Judging by how he looks?
More by the way he talks. Any man can dress up like nobility, but he spoke all la-di-da, like a lord.
Where's that chief of yours now?
I've no idea. After Privislavitz, he ordered us to raid Merhojed, but he wasn't with us. He went off who knows where. I don't reckon he'll be out of your hair for long, though.
So the chief is in command of all these operations?
You could say. I'd say you're looking at it all wrong, though.
How's that?
You ask who's in charge and who answers to who. Only this ain't some noble court. There was all sorts of gangs in Privislavitz, big and small. Robber barons who had their own brigades calling them my lord, and common footpads who hadn't a pot to piss in. Men came, men went. Lots of squabbles, the occasional murder. Old cronies and old rivals were meeting. Know what I mean?
I suppose so.
It was one big muddle. The main thing was nobody asked questions. I didn't give a damn who the chief was or what he had in mind or whether he had one ball or two. All I was interested in was the coin.
Uh-huh. How did you know about Privislavitz? Who took you there?
A fellow by the name of Moorcock. We met near Kuttenberg. I was robbing burghers who were fleeing the town from Sigismund's army. We got to talking and he told me about Privislavitz.
Why did you attack Merhojed?
The chief himself gave us the order. I reckon he wanted to show the local lords he was nowhere near finished.
So he's planning more raids?
The chief's always planning something. Privislavitz was only the start.
So you knew the coin was counterfeit?
Course I did. I brought those groschen to Privislavitz, along with a few other things.
Did you? And where did the forgeries come from?
Like, where were they made? I don't know. Some merchant by the name of Menhart gave them to me. We used to meet at the charcoal piles near Rovna, by the crossroads there. As it happens, I'm supposed to be meeting him there about now.
So Menhart's waiting there?
Might be, might not. He could have heard what happened in Privislavitz and decided not to show.
And does this Menhart know where the coin comes from?
How should I know? To me, he's just another link in the chain. I deal with him, and I never ask who he deals with. Just like he knows nothing about me.
I see. So I suppose there's no point asking you if you know any more about him.
It'd be a waste of breath. All he did was give me the coin, and then we went our separate ways.
You said you used to bring other things. What were they?
Letters. Menhart would give them to me for the chief. This time I was taking an answer back to Menhart too.
Have you still got that letter?
Aye. The yokels round here ain't got much interest in correspondence, apparently.
Give it to me then.
I'd be delighted.
What were the letters about?
If I knew how to read, I wouldn't be trusted to carry letters, would I? I took them from Menhart to the chief and back. That's all.
So you knew the coin was counterfeit?
Course I did. I brought those groschen to Privislavitz, along with a few other things.
Did you? And where did the forgeries come from?
Like, where were they made? I don't know. Some merchant by the name of Menhart gave them to me. We used to meet at the charcoal piles near Rovna, by the crossroads there. As it happens, I'm supposed to be meeting him there about now.
So Menhart's waiting there?
Might be, might not. He could have heard what happened in Pribyslavitz and decided not to show.
Who else knows about the money?
Apart from the chief, Menhart, Runt and me, there was a few others. The men got some real money too, with the false stuff. It'd be suspicious if they only had freshly minted coin.
That's all I need to know for now.
For now, for the love of Christ, boy, don't let the executioner interrogate me. I've already told you everything I know.
That's for Sir Jezhek to judge.
God bless you. What troubles you?
I've returned from Merhojed, sir.
How does it look there?
I brought them help from the monastery. Brother Nicodemus and Johanka from Skalitz. Fortunately, Nicodemus was able to cure the disease. Well, at least what he's doing looks promising so far.
Thank Christ. Some good news for a change. What about the captive? Did you question him?
He was infected too.
I see. Did he survive?
Fortunately, he survived and I had a chance to question him.
What did you find out?
He was transporting the false coins to Pribyslavitz. He got them from some merchant called Menhart.
I don't know him.
Neither do I. But I know where the money's handed over. It's not far from Rovna, and this Menhart should be waiting there about now.
Excellent, Henry. We mustn't let this opportunity slip through our fingers. You go there and put pressure on this Menhart to tell us what he knows. Don't go yet. There's something I'd like to talk to you about. God be with you.
You haven't disappointed me. Nothing against Bernard, Robert, or any of those others. But none of them could find out as much as you. At least not without beatings and torture. And that doesn't always work. You're a godsend, lad.
Thank you, sir.
Now go and find out who's behind everything, and then we'll deal with them.
Yes, sir. Sir.
What is it?
Sometimes I ask myself what it all means. Why does God allow such things to happen? All this slaughter and revenge, over and over.
It's a hard question. I'm no theologian. But long ago I came to the conclusion that the only thing that makes sense is that it's all a trial. Life is one long series of problems to solve. The more you solve, the better a man you become.
I never thought about it that way.
Well, just look at the pampered ones who have no concerns in life, like young Lord Capon, for instance. I shudder to think how he will rule when his time comes. Tribulations spawn in life over and over again, and we must stand our ground and face them. So, I go to Sasau and solve this one.
You can rely on me, sir.
Good luck, son.
Good God, what a bloody mess. Someone was wounded here. It looks like another person dragged him off. Maybe there'll be some tracks. It looks like blood. Charcoal burners. Someone must have seen or heard something.
Good day to you.
What happened at the crossroads?
Huh?
Enough bullshit. I know you dragged somebody here, so tell me what happened.
I don't know nothing, and I haven't seen nothing. If you want to know something about it, just ask Boyar. I don't want nothing to do with it.
Who is this Boyar?
Boyar cracks the whip around here. You'll recognize him by his red cap.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Who are you?
Do as I say, and you might walk out of here alive.
What? What's that? What do you mean?
Don't worry about it. Just answer my questions, and I might even help you.
Well, if you say so.
Who is it you work for? Who did the wagon belong to?
To Menhart. He's some kind of merchant who hired me for protection. But that's all I know.
And where's this Menhart disappeared off to?
No idea. I blacked out after the attack. Only came to my senses once I got here. I don't even know where here is.
Who ambushed that wagon?
A knight. He's been following us for a while.
And where did he go?
I don't know. I got a beating, and then I passed out.
Do you know what you were carrying in that wagon?
I never asked Menhart that.
Can I see your wound?
Are you a quack?
Sort of. That's a deep wound to the flank and you're still losing blood. You need to staunch it.
Will you help me?
I can try. Tell me more about the night.
Where's the coin?
What? What coin?
I will not repeat the question.
I don't know about any coin.
Gah! Where are those sacks you took from the wagon?
Sacks? They're behind the shed.
That's him. That's got to be that knight.
Is that all? Did you take anything else?
Fuck! Stop! Stop right there!
Yeah.
Damn. Well, I suppose it doesn't matter as long as it goes back to the Sasau Inn.
My respects to you.
Can I sleep here?
All right. For how long?
Just the one night?
Sure. Let's see your coin first. These are harsh times.
Here you are.
You'll like it here. Like sleeping on a cloud it is.
Where do I go to sleep?
On the upper floor of the inn. There's steps up to it outside. The middle room is yours.
You thought you could hide from me?
If I were hiding, you would not be talking to me now. No doubt you have many questions.
I certainly do.
We will talk. Not here, however. The walls have ears. Let's meet at the pond after sunset. You'll find me waiting by the big willow tree.
No. You'll say what you have to say right here.
By allen Heiling, you are a brave one. But if you want to know anything, come to the pond after sunset.
So here I am. What do you have to tell me?
I brought you here because I did not want to cause an alarm at the tavern. I am very sorry, but you made a mistake coming here alone. And it will be your last.
You swine! Well?
Who is that, Taffy? It seems I have finally met my match.
I want to know everything. Who you are, why you're here, and what you know about the ambushed wagon.
You may call me Ulrich. I will tell you nothing more until you give me some assurances.
Assurances? How about this? If you talk, I'll spare you.
Do you expect me to believe that? I know full well how these stories end. I have been at the other end of the sword more times than you can count.
I give you my word.
The word of a thief? Jesus. It is true what the preachers say. This world has gone quite mad. You had better kill me. I'm finished, anyway. Just as you are.
Why do you think I'm finished?
He who lives by the sword dies by the sword. Once you take a weapon in your hand, your days are numbered. It is the same for every one of us.
Not everyone.
Every last one. Knight, mercenary, or footpad. There are men who die peacefully in bed, their wives and children at their sides. But not you, or I. You will end your life in a ditch, with your belly ripped.
Unlike you, I'm not a criminal.
You believe that the forging of money is an honest trade?
I've got nothing to do with that. I'm not a forger, I'm the one investigating them.
What? What are you saying?
I'm in the service of Sir Jezhek, Governor of Skalitz and Royal Hetman.
Then we have something in common. I also am here under orders from above.
From who?
Perhaps you might sheath that weapon, so that we may talk eye to eye, if we do indeed have a common cause.
Stand up.
It is true our meeting has not begun well, but if it is the truth that you are sent by Kobila, then we can assist each other.
What do you mean?
I found out many things, but there are still questions I cannot answer. And the last man who knew anything is now dead.
What man was that?
Menhart, the merchant from Passau. Listen, I will explain everything to you, but first, I need you to do something for me.
Oh, really?
You will introduce me to a certain person, and I will tell you everything I've learned.
Who do you mean?
Master Tobias Pfeiffer. If you truly serve Sir Jezhek, then you must know him.
I think I know who you mean. What do you want him for?
I have here a written confession which tells how those forgeries are made, but I do not understand such technical matters. Master Pfeiffer, however...
We'll definitely be able to make sense of it. And you'll give it to me, just like that?
It seems I have little choice. This is the last lead I have. In the meantime, I will return to Sasau and see what I might learn there.
Shouldn't you go with me to see Pfeiffer?
No. I must remain in Sasau. I have some, loose ends that must be tied.
What's your name, anyway?
I told you. I am Ulrich.
Just Ulrich?
It is enough.
Because you look like a knight. They seldom have just one name.
It is true. I have a horse, armor, a sword, and a shield. But there are many ways to acquire such things these days. As I am sure you know.
So you're not a knight?
I am a trustworthy soldier in the service of a nobleman. That is all you need to know.
All right then, Ulrich. Let's leave it at that. Who are you working for?
I understand why you wish to know, but this does not mean I am at liberty to tell you.
Very well. I shan't beat it out of you. And what about that wagon? What happened there exactly?
I followed Menhart from Passau. I had reason to suspect a connection with Sasau.
What do you mean about the connection with Sasau?
The matter was investigated in Passau, and the executioner extracted information from those who were arrested. They told him that the coins were made in a monastery.
What, in the monastery itself?
I cannot say. I know only what the Passau scribe wrote down in his reports of the interrogations.
What happened on that track?
I ambushed them. I took down 2, but that bastard Menhart cut the horses loose and rode away.
What next?
While I was chasing Menhart, those charcoal burners came and stole what they could. Before I could catch him, his horse threw him and he broke his neck.
So we won't get anything out of him?
Unfortunately not.
What happened to Menhart?
He's dead, of course.
I know, but what did you do with his body?
I buried it. He was a bastard. But I'm not one to leave Christian remains rotting in the woods.
I see. And where's his grave?
He ran from the wagon uphill along the path to the north. Along the way there is an old ruined cabin. I buried him behind it. And don't think I don't know why you ask. Robbing graves is shameful.
I'd say that's the pot calling the kettle black.
You're mistaken. I have many deaths on my conscience. But robbing the dead, that's something I have no stomach for.
Very well. I'll go and see Master Fafar.
Godspeed. I will wait in Sasau at the Wagoner's Inn.
Greetings. What business have you?
Master Fafar, I need to speak with you. I found out something about the counterfeit coin.
Did you really? Do tell.
Close to Rovna, I came across a wagon that was transporting the false coins. Unfortunately, I came too late. The carter and his men were dead.
Damn and blast. Do you know who did it?
Yes. A certain knight turned up there. Turned out he was also after the forgers.
Well, that is indeed unexpected. Tell me, what did he say?
His name is Ulrich. He looked like a knight, but he refused to show his master's colours.
Ulrich, you say? Could be anyone. Can you describe him?
An older man with a moustache. But for all his grey hairs, he seemed pretty tough to me.
Doesn't match anyone I've heard of. But then we don't even know if Ulrich is his real name.
I asked him who his liege was, but he refused to tell me.
We live in such strange times. In days past, knights would vie with each other to see who could extol their liege's name the loudest. And today, they take assumed names, hide their emblems, and sneak around the land like thieves.
I got the impression he was hiding his identity because his master's at odds with Sir Jezhek.
That may well be. As a staunch supporter of the king, Sir Jezhek has many enemies.
He gave me these documents to show you. He seemed to think they prove he was telling the truth. They're the records of the interrogations in Passau, and some other things he said you'd understand better than him.
Let me see. We, the aldermen of the city of Passau, interrogation held this day, put to pen by the questor. The place of origin is a monastery in the land of Bohemia. Which sadly confirms my suspicion that something underhand is going on in Sasau. Coin assay report. Copper core coated with amalgam. But this is interesting. Here's an outline description of how the forgeries are made. I'll have to study it more closely. We command Herr Ulrich to investigate and let no man stand in his way. This looks like the original safe conduct. It has the seal of the Passau alderman, but they certainly didn't pen this.
How do you know?
I recognize the hand. It's a Clement of Kaplitz, the high scribe of the Rosenbergs.
The Rosenbergs? Who's that?
A rich and powerful family in South Bohemia. Burgrave Henry III is a great rival of our King Wenceslas.
So what does all this mean?
Well, it certainly explains why your night is so mysterious. Anyway, we should be careful. And we shall begin our investigation. The documents show they use silver amalgam for coating copper fakes. That's a lead we can follow.
What?
Silver amalgam. It's produced from quicksilver and silver.
Well, that doesn't sound like something just anyone can get hold of.
You're quite right. You will go to Sasau at once. Look around the forges in the city. Someone must be working copper for them. I, meanwhile, will take counsel with Sir Jezhek and then follow after you.
Where shall we meet?
At the inn on Sasau Market Square. Good luck.
So, what did Master Pfeiffer have to say?
I consulted him and we definitely have a starting point.
Tell me more.
Master Pfeiffer found out they need copper sheets for the core of the coins and quicksilver for the the other part?
I see. They have such materials at the monastery.
Exactly. That's why I'm interested in the local forges.
Yes, that is good. Yesterday, I heard people from the craftsman's yard by the monastery complaining. They said they could not sleep at night because the blacksmith works all the time till dawn.
I see. That's certainly worth asking about. Have you heard anything else?
You said they use quicksilver. There is a painter lodging here who is painting the church in Ujits. I heard him complain also. He said that he went to the monastery for quicksilver and it was all gone.
Well, that's something to follow up as well. Thanks.
God be with you.
I hear you've had some problems with the supply of quicksilver.
Problems? I should say so. For the third time this month they've told me they've none. There's no quicksilver to be had, they said.
And who exactly are you talking about? Who's holding back the goods on you?
The monastery overseer, or his assistant, more like.
So what did the overseer have to say to you?
Nothing. Apparently he doesn't deal in such trifles. Leaves it all to his assistant, the pompous git.
What do you need quicksilver for?
I don't. They do. To mix up the red pigment for me. I'm painting the church in Ujits. Can you imagine how stupid those biblical scenes look without red?
Not really.
Then be glad you can. My eyes hurt just to imagine it.
That's all I need to know for now.
Ah. But wouldn't you care to buy something before you go? Or play a game? I really need some money. I've been waiting here a while and my stay's getting expensive.
I'm sorry, but I don't have time for it now.
God be with you.
Jesus Christ be praised.
Do you have any quicksilver in stock?
Who's asking?
Nobody. I'm just asking.
Then I don't have any.
That sounds almost as if you don't want to sell it to me.
It's not that I don't want to. It's that I can't.
Bollocks. Tell me this instant what you've done with the goods.
Nothing! And I'd advise you to calm down. We're on hallowed ground.
You're a fine one to speak of hallowed ground, a lying thief in monastic robes. What next? A whore dressed as a nun?
This is blasphemy!
I'll give you blasphemy. I'm sure you know what our Lord did to the money changers in the temple.
What do you mean? You're not going to hurt me, are you?
Tell me what's going on here and I won't have a reason to.
Jesus. But I didn't know anything about any counterfeiting.
For your sake, I hope that's true. Now tell me what's been going on.
I swear, I wouldn't normally do anything like that.
Get to the point.
They came for me at noon, directly to the office. The overseer was somewhere on his rounds.
Some knight it was, without a crest, armed. He called himself Sir Jezhek, and he had a lackey with him called Rapota, a scruffy fellow with a yellow cape. Always whistling he was. They told me they wanted all the quicksilver we order for the monastery. Of course, I told him that wouldn't be possible.
And then what? Did they threaten you?
Not at first. They tried to bribe me, and when I refused, they started threatening.
How did you hand it over to them?
I take it up the hill behind the monastery here. There's a big tree there with a small chapel underneath. Sometimes Rapota is there waiting for me. If not, I leave it there.
What did they threaten you with?
They said they know people in the monastery, that they'd have me thrown out and beaten for stealing.
And you had been stealing? I mean, before then?
You know how it is. I work my fingers to the bone and they pay me a pittance.
So they knew about you?
Yes, they knew my name, everything.
Very well. Thank you.
Take care now.
Why are you just sitting around?
Why not? Admiring the view. People just do not appreciate a lovely view these days.
Over here! Where is everyone? Quick!
Does the name Rapota ring any bells for you?
Rapota, you say? Rapota. Nope, I can't hear any bells ringing at all.
Look, you little jester, I'm investigating a crime against the king on the direct orders of Sir Jezhek. Are you really going to keep pretending you don't know anything?
Hang on, what's all this about a crime against the king? I'm just keeping an eye on things. When a wagon comes in, I'll make sure nobody robs it. I get a commission for that, that's it.
See? That didn't hurt a bit. Where's Rapota?
I don't know. He's been staying in town lately. He hardly ever shows up here. It seems he's keeping an eye on someone there. But I don't know who.
Who comes to fetch them?
I don't know. Some people. They don't speak. Just look mean. Take the goods and go.
Bit of friendly advice. You're wasting your time here. Rapota's scarpered and won't be coming back this way anytime soon. You might as well pack up and go home.
What? The bastard owes me 12 groschen. Damn it. Now what? Well, no use hanging around here anyway. In any case, thanks for the information. I could have been stuck here for weeks.
The Lord be praised. What brings you to me?
You look different, Master.
So as to fit in. I don't want it known that I'm in town.
Right.
So what have you found out so far?
I found out where they get their quicksilver from. You were right, it was the monastery.
It was the only logical explanation.
It changed hands on the hill behind the monastery.
Have you been there to have a look around?
I have, but I didn't find anything interesting.
And have you found out who's behind it?
Someone called Rapota.
Not much, but it's a start. At least it's not a common name. Listen, Henry, I had another thought on the way here. Those counterfeiters have to have a punch die to make the fake coins.
Yes, of course.
That's sophisticated work. There's a man I know who works at the monastery yard. Master engraver Jerome of Silesia.
You don't suppose that he's...
No, not that, God forbid. I know him well. He'd never do anything like that. But he runs an engraving workshop, so he might have heard something.
Very well, I'll ask him.
But ask with tact. I don't want him getting offended. And I prefer you not to mention me at all.
I'll try to think of something. That's all.
Farewell.
Are you Rapporteur by any chance?
Pardon me? Do we know each other?
No, but I'm hoping to change that.
Well, I don't have much time right now. I'd best be off.
It'll only take a moment.
All right then. What do you want?
I know you buy quicksilver for those counterfeiters.
It seems there's no point making excuses.
None. Now tell me where their workshop is.
Of course. That will be the best solution.
So?
Let's leave it for another time. No, I give up.
So, are you ready to talk?
I will. Just don't hurt me, please. What do you want from me?
Tell me where the workshop is. Don't worry. Your master won't be punishing you for betraying him. You're both going to have too many other problems.
It's in the Skullet's mines.
That doesn't narrow it down very much.
On the eastern side of Skullet's Hill, there's an abandoned mine gallery. Well, it used to be abandoned. Now there's a small camp in front of it, and the workshop is inside.
Who is your lord?
Sir Jezhek of Ronov. That's what he calls himself, although Ronov Castle's long gone.
What happened to it?
Ronov used to belong to Vincent, Count Lichtenberg. After his death, it fell to Margrave Jobst, and he had it pulled down. He knew full well that Vincent's vassals would resist him.
Why? Everyone knows that when a lord dies without issue, the king can confer his estate on whoever he pleases.
But Vincent had descendants. Ronov only fell to the Margrave because he declared them all illegitimate. All because Vincent had refused to fight for him against Sir Prokop. Sir Jezhek led a revolt of the vassals, but Jobst rounded them all up. Only Sir Jezhek got away. Since then, he's become the scourge of the domain.
Who are you, anyway?
They call me Rapota. I used to be the executioner's henchman in Brno.
And how did you come to be serving Sir Jezhek?
I helped him escape from prison. If I was going to serve anyone, better Sir Jezhek than the executioner.
So you saw being a brigand's henchman as a step up in the world?
I thought if things changed and he stopped marauding, he might get Ronov back and take me into his service.
Well, after this little escapade, you can forget about that. You'll be lucky if you don't end up swinging on the gallows.
It's all the same anyway now. I've betrayed him.
So who's Sir Jezhek working for? Don't tell me he just took it into his head one day to start forging coins.
That's not for me to know. Sir Jezhek was on speaking terms with various lordships.
Such as?
We were often guests at the monastery, but I slept in the hayloft, so I heard nothing.
And apart from that?
In the camp, you'd occasionally see a Hungarian nobleman, but I don't know what he was doing there, or who he is.
I think I've heard enough.
Can I ask you something?
Yes?
I don't want to hang. It's a horrible death. I prefer you just kill me here and now.
As you wish.
Our Father, who art in heaven. Oh!
I finally found out where the Forger's workshop is. Master Feifar was right. The Forgers are sticking close to the supply source. Their workshop is somewhere in the mines. The entrance is on the eastern side of the hill. I've no idea what to expect there, but I'd rather go there with some backup.
I will be glad to give it. Lead on.
What's going on there?
What are you doing here? Tired of life, are you?
Raise the alarm! Watch out! To arms! Get over here!
Shit! Shit! Leave me be! Enough! You win!
You'll get what for.
No, forget it. Now you die.
You beast!
Fuck it!
Not so brave now, are you, young? You dare to face me? You should have fucked up while you had the chance.
Five, 6, 7, 8, 9, 3 score.
Jesus Christ. Who are you and what are you doing here?
I'm here at the command of the Royal Hetman, Sir Jezhek Kabila.
And who's he?
That's no concern of yours.
I'm sure we could come to some sort of agreement. I have plenty of coin.
We can come to an agreement that you'll keep your mouth shut. Please, don't take this personally.
Wait!
What? Do you want to do it? Be my guest. It gives me no pleasure.
You can't kill him. I have orders to take him to Ratai.
That is unfortunate. I have orders to kill everyone involved in this business.
You can't do that!
I have no choice, as you are aware.
Why do you want to kill him? He may have valuable information.
For that exact reason. My master does not wish this man to fall into the wrong hands, especially those of Jezhek Kabila.
You're a traitor.
The world is not so black and white, boy. We were on the same side for a while, but no longer. That is how it goes.
I've beaten you once already. Do you really want to try again?
I have no choice.
You could hang up your sword, stop being a knight.
Why would I do that?
Your age. Every morning you wake up feeling more and more sluggish, day after day just collecting more grey hair and losing your strength. If you'd been a few years younger, you'd have carved me up. But now, if even a brat like me can trounce you, that's probably the Lord's way of telling you to find a new line of work. It's time to look the truth in the eyes. You've grown too old.
Old I may be, but not so weak as to let mere words defeat me.
Very well. You asked for it, old man. Head. Oh!
Oh. Here. Uns.
Oh.
Please, I'm sure we can come to some sort of agreement.
You can talk all you like, but not here and not to me. Let's go. Let's go. Master Fafar is very keen to meet you.
Good work, Henry.
Thank you, Master Fafar. It wasn't easy, I can tell you.
I'll take some men and have a good look around there.
And what should I do?
You should get some rest and go to Rattay. In the meantime, Sir Jezhek will have this wretch questioned. Maybe he'll get something useful out of him.
All right. I'll see you in Rattay then.
There's the man. Good work, Henry.
Thank you, sir.
I tell you to take a well-earned rest, but unfortunately I need one more thing from you.
Whatever you command.
Jezhek refuses to talk to us. The stubborn bastard's asking to see you.
Me?
Indeed. Normally I'd send for Captain Bernard to beat it out of him, but then I told myself that if he's so keen to speak to you...
I'll try to get something out of him. Where is he?
He's locked up in the tower. Bernard will give you the key.
Very well, sir.
God save you, Henry. Well, finally, I've had quite a wait.
Why do you want to talk to me, of all people?
You brought me here. You should consider it an honor.
Well, it's true to say I have a lot of questions.
Well, there you are, then. It did cross my mind, though, that it might be nice to get some assurances for my cooperation. After all, I'm the one the Margrave unjustly declared the scourge of the land and expelled from Moravia. They even pulled my beautiful castle down. It was the necessity of making a living that forced me to take some liberties.
suppose there's some truth in that. I may speak with Sir Jezhek and he might pardon you, but not unless you start talking.
Very well, ask me anything you want. I won't be obstructive.
What I want to know most of all is who's behind it. Who are you making those forgeries for?
Do you think I couldn't have handled it all myself?
I'm not trying to insult you. It's just not a job one man could do alone.
All right, the way it began was I was short of coin, as usual. So I let those crimps in Sasau recruit me.
Recruit you into what?
I didn't inquire too much. In this business, you don't ask too many questions. But when they found out I wasn't just anybody, they put me in charge of the counterfeiting. A foreigner by the name of Erik gave me instructions. But for sure, he isn't the chief. And there's someone highly placed at the monastery who's mixed up in it too. But I don't know who.
How did you come to hear of all this business?
I met some old friends in Colleen a few months ago, and they said they were heading for Sasau, that armed men were being recruited, and they'll hire anyone.
Old friends? Who were they?
Just a couple of brigands. We used to ambush the Margrave's messengers in Moravia together.
Nice friends you keep.
I was in dispute with the Margrave. A man in my position finds himself mixed up with all sorts.
And then what?
Rapota and I had been living off stale crusts for a month, so I wasn't going to turn down the chance of work, honest or otherwise. We rode to Sasau and met with the recruiters. It didn't take long to realize I was a nobleman fallen on hard times, not some common peasant.
Can you get to the point?
Well, they introduced me to this Erik, and he told me what was needed. They set up the workshop, got the men, the supplies, everything.
This Erik, you reckon he's not the one in charge?
He puts on airs, but he's just a naive young pup. And he's always going on about his lord, though he never mentioned him by name.
Where can I find this Erik? You must have had some meeting place.
He used to come to the workshop unannounced, and after what's happened, I doubt he'll be showing his face there again.
This highly placed person at the monastery, what can you tell me about him?
I've no idea who he is, only that he's no small fry. After all, he handles the exchange of the forgeries in Passau.
I see. Is there anything else at all you can tell me about him?
No, he was supposed to supply me with materials too, but he backed out. Erik said he probably got cold feet.
Crimps? You're telling me this Erik is recruiting armed men in Sasau?
Well, it seems so. I was giving the recruiters some of the coins to do it. The fake ones, of course.
Where can I find the recruiting gang?
That's tricky. It was my friends who led me to them. We met with them in the woods next to Sasau. It's about who you know, as always.
You said you gave them money. Where was that?
They'd ride to the mine gallery to see me. I don't suppose you'd find them there now.
If you say so. That'll do me for the moment.
Will you put in a word for me with Sir Jezhek? I'll swear allegiance to him if he'll have me. I'm sick of being a renegade.
Why would Sir Jezhek want your allegiance? You're a criminal, and that's how you'll be treated.
So what have you learned?
All sorts of things.
There's some foreigner called Erik behind the counterfeiting ring, and someone highly placed at the monastery.
The monastery? Really?
That's what Jezhek claimed.
So it's worse than I thought. If this is true, we'll have to proceed with the utmost caution.
Why? Can't we just go to the monastery to investigate?
No. If the church is truly involved, I have no authority.
But if someone at the monastery is perpetrating crimes against the crown...
True enough. Why don't I go and arrest King Sigismund of Luxembourg while I'm about it? He's committed a crime or two as well.
I'll have to think about it. It won't be an easy nut to crack. I'll have to consult with Hanush. And what of this Erik? Who is he?
I don't know, but he's recruiting armed men in Sasau and forming an army.
Damn! So it looks like Pribyslavitz wasn't the end of it.
It most certainly wasn't, sir. And what's more, Sir Jezhek is convinced this Erik is only a go-between, and there's someone bigger behind him.
You should return to Sasau and take a closer look at those recruiters. If they're going to attack, we must find out sooner than last time.
It might not be as straightforward as that. Sir Jezhek didn't know them and has no idea how to find them.
You'll have to manage somehow, my lad. Don't tell me there's an armed force amassing here and nobody knows anything. Go to Sasau and try to find them.
I'm not sure where to start, sir.
Then ask around the alehouses and inns, or at the Rathaus. Someone must have heard something. These things can't be entirely kept in the dark. Whatever you do, be careful, Henry. And best not mention my name. It would attract unwelcome attention. What we want is for the crimps to take you for just another village lad they can lure into their gang.
All right, sir. I'll try to blend in as best I can.
I know I'm asking a lot of you, but I know of no one else who could help as much as you can now.
As you command, sir.
Jesus Christ be praised.
Have you noticed anything suspicious lately?
And what's your idea of suspicious?
You don't know where I might find some more dishonourable folk?
And why would you want them? You'll set tongues wagging about you.
But they'd be the ones to know what reputable townsfolk don't.
I grant you that. Well, we don't have an executioner, just a knacker. But he's an odd fellow. Like any knacker, I suppose. And there's some strange tales about Miller Simon, too. But I'd say it's just jealousy.
What can you tell me about the knacker?
Decent folk don't talk about him. He deals in carcasses.
I was hoping you'd tell me a bit more than that.
Why should I care about him? He lives in a house by the church, and that's all I know. And all I'll say.
Thank you for the help.
Not at all. But why off so soon? Sit down for a tankard or a bite to eat.
Good day to you.
Are you the local knacker?
I'm the local grave digger. But if there aren't any burials to take care of, I'll turn me hand to knackery.
Well, then you might know a lot of things that others don't.
I'm a decent man. Not always honest, but decent.
Anything fishy going on in these parts?
There certainly is. Candles are being stolen from the church. As brazen as that. What sort of people do that?
Ah, but have you heard of anyone around here hiring adventurers and bandits?
How would I know that? Most people avoid talking to me. I don't even go to the tavern much these days.
Thank you. I'll be going now.
Very well. Feel free to stop by any time. People shy away from me, except when there's a death or the cesspit's full.
God be with you.
How goes it, Tanner?
Not well, lad. Not well at all. Every evening there's such a racket, a body can't even take his rest after work.
You don't say. And what's the cause of all the noise?
Some pack of louts raising hell behind my home. And when I want to tell them to go elsewhere, they beat me.
When are they there?
Nearly every evening. Every god-forsaken evening. Shouting and bellowing there till nightfall. And then they leave. Probably to get drunk.
How many of them are there?
How would I know? They make as much noise as a herd of wild boar in rutting season.
And did they all attack you?
Aye. They knocked the stuffing right out of me.
If you want, I'll take care of them.
Well, you look like you could move mountains, but there are several of them and just one of you.
Perhaps we'll be able to settle things peacefully.
Maybe. They might think twice before kicking your arse.
Perhaps I can reason with them. It doesn't have to come to blows.
Well, break a leg, lad. Or better yet, don't. But if you manage to pull it off, you'll get your reward. Don't worry.
I'm looking for work, and I've heard someone around here wants fearless men. Do you know anything about it?
I've heard they might be looking for a new knacker. So if you're not afraid of carcasses and the occasional pile of shite...
Thanks, but no thanks. Word has it someone's hiring mercenaries and other fighters.
Ah, well, you've heard more than I.
What are you doing here?
Nothing special. Just a little evening wrestling. It's good for your back and digestion. And your purse too, if you know your business.
If I wanted to join in, what would I have to do?
It's pretty simple. First you have to beat Weed. He's that not too dangerous looking fella there. But some nights, he gets a good rest and he's got God on his side. Then you can try one of those three. Doesn't matter which. And if you whip all three, you can test your mettle against me. Fair enough?
So the last match is with you?
That's right. They say a bout with me is no joke. Just bad humours.
I want to fight you.
What did I tell you? First beat Weed and those three clowns. And then I'll have time for you. Got it? God be with you.
Good day to you. What do you need?
I heard that someone was looking for men willing to do anything. Do you know anything about that?
No, but I'm always the last to hear of anything like that. I'd ask Punch. He'd know.
Let's do it.
Let's go. Good luck to you.
Quarter.
Ow!
My respects to you.
I heard someone was looking for men willing to do anything. Do you know anything about it?
Maybe. I work in the quarry, and they're always looking for extra hands to replace them that's got something broken.
That's not what I meant, but thanks. Let's fight.
You look pretty good. But I'm betting it was just luck.
We'll see.
God be with you.
God be with you.
I've heard that someone's looking for men willing to do anything. Do you know anything about it?
If I knew you better, I might tell you. But as things stand...
Let's fight!
That wasn't bad. But let's see how you do with me. May the Lord watch over you.
Oh! Bugger!
I'm over here. Ow. Ha. Ow. Yo.
My respects to you.
I heard that someone's looking for men willing to do anything. Do you know anything about that?
Willing to do anything? Meaning what? Something filthy like helping the knacker? I wouldn't know. Go and ask someone else.
That's not what I meant, but all right. Let's fight.
That wasn't bad, but now we'll take it up a notch.
May the Lord watch.
You're going to cry.
I want to fight you.
You put on quite a show. Can't say I expected it. May the Lord watch over.
Oh! Ah! Ah! Ow! Ah!
That was pretty good. I didn't think you had it in you.
You were really good. I've got to hand it to you. Most lads don't make it past me. So listen, I want to tell you something.
What's that?
There are people here looking for really tough men, and I'd say you fit the bill. So when you walk through town this evening, if there's a light in the church, go in and wait a while. If they like the looks of you, they might give you some work.
Thanks. I'll think about it. I've taken care of the lads who were bothering you. You'll have a quiet evening tonight.
God bless you, lad. And here's something for your trouble and kindness. Unlike that miserable bailiff.
If anything else grieves you, just say the word.
God be
Hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in
Amen.
heaven. What?
So, you've been looking for us, eh? What is it you want?
I hear you're hiring men who don't mind getting their hands dirty.
Is that so? And where did you hear that?
Taverns and the like. People talk.
Well, that's a pretty tale. But no one in any tavern told you to come here and wait, did they? So let's have it. Who told you?
The bailiff's man told me about you. The one who runs the fight club in the quarry.
Did he now? Well, I hope you trounced him. Bastard took my money at dice.
If you want, I can give him a proper hiding, just to show you I'm serious.
Spare me the boasting. I've got a test ready for you. Let's see how you handle it before you tell us how wonderful you are.
What test?
Nothing complicated. We used to take anyone who looked like they could keep their head on straight, but not now. Now you can only join if you do what we tell you.
Which is what? Steal something?
Nah, not theft. If you want to join us, you have to kill Pius.
I'll have to find him first.
You don't need to find him. We know where he is.
Then why haven't you killed him yourselves?
It's quite a test. He's hiding in a monastery.
With the stable boys? It's not hard to get into the grounds.
No, not there. Well, he would have been dead long since. He's in the, cloister, or whatever it is.
But only monks can get in there.
Just monks and Pius. He's an educated bastard. Seems he used to be a priest, but it didn't quite work out.
Who's Pius, and why should I kill him?
That's none of your business. But I'll tell you anyway, because it's an instructive tale. Pius was one of us, but he fucked up.
How? Did he steal something?
Yeah, that was part of it. Stole some money, ran away. A few boys died over it. Showed a distinct lack of loyalty. And as soon as he's dead, you can join us.
And how am I supposed to get into the cloister?
You'll think of something. Maybe there's a secret passage. I've heard there's some cave underneath. The cave of St. Procopius. There might be a way into it from outside.
And do you have any other ideas besides secret passages?
Well, there is this one fellow been hanging around the taverns. Supposed to join the monastery soon. Might be he could help you somehow. I'd try talking to him if I were you. And if he doesn't help, knock him on his ass and take anything he's got that you could use to pass yourself off as him. A letter of admittance to the monastery, or whatever.
How will I recognize Pius?
He won't have been there long. He should be the only new one there.
But what if there are others? What does he look like?
Normal. He always went about well dressed and had a fine-looking dagger.
Yes, except he'll be given a robe and they'll take his knife.
Then you'll have to try and figure out which one of the novices it is, and get him to betray himself. Try getting him drunk. Then send him straight to hell.
Get him drunk? In a monastery?
We're better. There's more wine there than in the royal cellars, and I doubt he suddenly stopped drinking.
And do you have any other tests?
We're not hiring stable boys. We want men who are prepared to do anything. And this is the toughest task we've got.
So how many men have you already sent?
Just a handful.
And what happened to them? Did they hang?
Just the first one. The others turned tail. Guess they didn't have the stomach for it.
Fine. So I've got to kill Pius. He's in the cloister, and to get into the cloister, I'll need to enlist the help of some boy who's joining the order, right?
More or less. And now the main thing.
The main thing is to kill him, isn't it?
Of course. But that's not all. All hell's gonna break loose in the monastery after the murder. So, either make sure nobody finds him, or hightail it out of there quick as soon as the job's done. But better if they don't find him right away.
And what else? Should I come back here afterwards?
No. Before you run for it, take his special dice and bring it as proof that you killed him. And if you can get him to tell you where he hid the coin, bring that as well.
Bring his dice and the money if I find it. And where should I bring it?
From the monastery, head east across the river. There'll be a swamp where you'll find a fire pit. Go there at night and light a fire. Make it nice and big and we'll show up. Take the dice and the money, and then tell you where to report. Got it?
Right, I'm to slip into the best guarded place in the entire region and kill someone. Take his dice and money, and then go to the swamp and wait by the fire.
Yeah, that's the idea.
Well, you can at least say a few Hail Marys for me. I'm gonna need all the help I can get.
And remember, we'll be keeping tabs. So don't you try to run off, alright? Take care.
Greetings. What do you need?
Sir, this investigation into the Neuhof massacre, it's getting a bit complicated.
What have you found out?
I tracked down a gang of robbers who recruited killers for Pribyslavitz. They know the whoresons who torched Neuhof.
That's excellent news. Did you find out any more?
So far, not much. If I'm going to infiltrate them, I have to do what they say. That means murdering one of their former cronies, a fellow they call Pius. Apparently he was at Neuhof too.
You have to kill a criminal to prove yourself to them? Huh. I don't much like the sound of it.
That's not the worst of it. This Pius is hiding out in the monastery pretending to be a novice. I'd have to get inside the cloisters to get at him.
Good God above, that's another matter entirely. They don't let just anyone into the cloisters, and the abbot won't give up any of the novices. Secular law has no jurisdiction inside the monastery. But this is the second time that something untoward has happened there. First the counterfeiters, now this. I'd be glad to have someone take a look inside.
It seems like the only way to find Pius is to join the order. Damned if I know how, though.
A bit of meditation and learning would do you good. If it's really the only way to get to him, then you'll have to do it. I'm sorry I can't be of much help. Sadly, my relations with the monastery aren't entirely congenial. You'll have to figure something out for yourself.
What should I do with Pius once I find him?
Don't kill him. Bring him to the bailiff in Rattay. He'll interrogate the man and give him a fair trial.
It doesn't sound like an easy task, sir. Getting into the cloisters, finding Pius, and then getting him to the bailiff.
Far from it, lad. But I have confidence in your abilities. See you later.
I'll have to get something to eat. I'm starting to get hungry.
Over here. Like
Easy
order.
to take it there in a wagon.
My respects to you.
Are you Carl by any chance?
I am. Why do you ask?
I've heard that you're bound for the monastery.
Yes. Yes, it's true. But I've convinced my faithful guardian, Manfred, to give me a few more days of freedom. Mind you, he won't let me visit the brothel, so instead I'm devoting those days to the demon drink. With whom do I have the honor of speaking?
My name is Henry.
Pleased to meet you, Henry.
Let's have a drink.
A man after my own heart. The drink's on me. And will my guardian angel here join us in imbibing? No, he will not. Perish the thought. My dear, dear lad, what a cross I have to bear. You know, after the tavern, we should pay a visit to some whores. But Manfred won't let me. Get rid of him. I'll be with you.
Tonight, I'll have to get my own ale.
I'm honored that a knight such as you takes an interest in me.
You're Manfred, the young lord's guardian?
Indeed I am. Why?
You must have a mighty thirst. Waiting here with him for days, just watching him get drunk, and not having a sip yourself.
There's no doubt I'd enjoy a drink. Heaven knows I deserve it. But if I dull my senses in the slightest, that rogue will surely get up to mischief.
So let's drink together. And if you start to feel unwell, I'll keep an eye on him. Like you said, you deserve some fun.
I can see you're a reliable lad. So what shall we have to drink? And while we're at it, why not have a little game?
God be with you.
Hey, where's my ale?
Manfred's taken care of, just as you wanted.
Thank God. He won't let me out of his sight for a second, and he's itching to get me in the monastery so he can head back home.
There. Satisfied?
Why does your guardian never leave your side?
So I don't run away. Of course, I'm free to walk around, but he watches every step I take and won't stop until I'm behind the monastery walls.
Well, he's not watching you now.
What good is that to me when he has all the money, and even my saddle and riding cloak under lock and key?
Why don't you just run away?
Bare-arsed? What the hell would I do? I don't know how to work, I have no money, and that old bastard's even taken my cloak. He has me in the palm of his hand.
But there are poor people everywhere and they get by somehow.
If I have to choose between hunger and poverty on one hand and the monastic life on the other, I'm afraid the monastery wins. If I could only steal that old man's pouch, I'd be gone faster than lightning and no one would ever see me again.
That's all then.
Good luck to you.
I'll have a beer. How much longer must I wait?
I'll be back in 2 shakes.
Over here. I'd like to order.
I'm Carl. I'm supposed to enter as a novice.
We expected you sooner. Weren't you supposed to come here with your guardian? It's been so hectic lately, people will keep turning up out of the blue.
What of it? I'm here, aren't I?
Well, you're a bit bold, aren't you? Well, the brothers will soon knock that out of you. Well, we'll see. Can you read and write?
Naturally. I wouldn't be here otherwise.
So then, are you ready to enter the Order of Saint Benedict and renounce forever the temptations of this world?
I am.
Then you must rid yourself of all your worldly possessions. Sell them or give them to the poor and needy or donate them to the monastery. You may not enter this place burdened by worldly goods. Inside the gatehouse is a trunk in which you will find monk's robes. Put away all your possessions and dress yourself in the habit. Then you may rest a while I go and see the prior to arrange matters for your acceptance.
Strange feeling being without all of that. I didn't realise how much I'd grown used to it.
Everything's prepared. It's time for you to take your vows.
Do I really have to wear this?
You'd better get used to it. You'll be wearing it for the rest of your life.
Brothers in Christ, we have gathered here today to welcome a new novice into our midst. Dear brother, forget your former life and embrace your new vocation in the community of the monks of St. Benedict. Opus Dei, obedientia, obprobria, the service of God, obedience, and endurance of all discomfort. These are the cornerstones and succor of our order, which on this day shall become your own. Suscipe me, Domine, secundum eloquium tuum, et vivam, et non confundas me ab expectatione mea.
Suscipe me, Domine, secundum in loquium tuum vivam, et non confundas me ab expectatione mea.
Accept your new name, Brother Gregor, and wear it with honor. Welcome, brother.
Welcome, brother. I am Antonius, a novice like you. I've been instructed to guide you around the monastery and tell you what you can expect and what your duties will be.
Thanks for helping me out during the ceremony. I had no idea what I was supposed to do.
You don't know Latin, do you? Don't worry. Work in the scriptorium will teach you fast enough. Why exactly are you here? Was it your choice? Or did someone force you to come?
I'm being punished. If it were up to me, I'd still be spending my days in taverns and my nights with whores.
I don't envy you. Unfortunately, you're here for the rest of your life.
Would you tell me something about yourself?
I'm a novice and I'm here because I'd make a poor merchant. I like books and I want an education. Although I must say, so far the monastic life's been quite unexpected.
Let's go then.
Good. But before we do, here's a letter directly from the prior telling you all your regular duties from tomorrow onwards. Make sure to read it this evening, so you know how things work. Right, we can go now. Follow me closely. I'll explain everything as we go. Remember one word: discipline. It's your job to work and pray. You serve the Lord now, not your own bodily needs. This is the way to the dormitory, where we all sleep. You'll find a free bed there, which is now yours. Do you know the first thing the monastery taught me? To appreciate sleep. We rise before dawn every day. Takes a bit of getting used to. This is the garden, a place for silent contemplation and meditation. Centuries ago, this monastery was founded by the most esteemed of brothers, Saint Procopius. His earthly remains can be found in a cave under the monastery, and his spirit wanders the corridors at night, punishing any misbehaving novices. So beware.
Here are the frattery and scriptorium, together with the library. These are the places where we work. Ora et labora. Pray and work.
As a novice, you must always listen to your superior brethren, and above us monks are the prior and the circators, who punish every infraction. You'll know them by the canes they carry. Do what they say. This is the refectory, where we come together to eat. During meals, you must be silent. Only one brother reads aloud from the Rule of Saint Benedict.
The rule is the only law we recognize, with the exception of those from God himself. If you break any of its precepts, expect a swift punishment. But I've already told you about the circuitors. The library, the pride of our monastery, a trove of learning. We don't just read books here, we also copy them. You too learn how. And that's all. Today you are still free from duty, but tomorrow you begin work like the others. If you need anything, ask any of the brothers. We'll be glad to help you. And I recommend you get to know the other novices. You already know me. Then there is Siskin, Yodok, and Lukas.
Thanks for showing me around. There's a lot to learn here. I'd like to ask you something about the monastery. What are the roles of the various monks here?
Someone takes care of the library, someone else the garden. The abbot supervises everyone, and in his absence, the prior. But it's the circators you should worry about. They're the brothers who'll make sure we observe the rule. They can be quite strict, so if you want to avoid getting punished, always act righteously and do your duties honestly.
Well, that's all. Thank you for your time, brother. My name's Gregor, a novice.
You can call me Siskin. Now, are you here of your own free will, or is this a punishment? Although it's not important. Welcome to Purgatory.
Did you say purgatory?
You'll see soon enough. Soon enough.
You're right. It stunk like a wine barrel in there. And it's not the first time.
It's a mystery, but one that will be soon solved. It's a wonder Prior doesn't check everyone's breath in the morning. Then he'd soon get his mount.
Will you tell me something about yourself?
Look, nothing against you, but I prefer not to talk about my past.
Are you hiding something? Why are you so reluctant to tell me anything about yourself?
We each have a part of ourselves that we want to keep private. I won't pry into your affairs, and you don't pry into mine. I'm Novice Siskin, and you're Novice Gregor. That's all we need to know.
It's just that... All right, as you wish. I'd be interested to hear what you think about the other novices. Tell me about Antonius.
Oh, if there was a monk I'd recommend as a friend, with of course the exception of myself, it would be Antonius. He has a calm soul, he's easy to talk to, and you can always rely on him.
That's all. Thanks. I found this piece of parchment. It looks like it's been ripped out of a book.
The words mean nothing to me. Ask in the library.
I'm Gregor, a novice. I saw you at the ceremony.
I know. It was hard not to notice you.
And you are?
Lucas, also a novice. Don't get upset, but I don't want to talk to you. I'm happiest alone.
Will you tell me something about yourself?
There's nothing I can tell you.
I mean, where you're from, what sort of life you had before, that sort of thing.
I'm a novice, and my monastic name is Lucas. Nothing else matters.
Come on. Is there really nothing at all you can tell me?
I could, but I don't want to. I'm sorry. I want to stay focused on work and prayer, not on who I once was. I never will be again. What has been isn't important for us. We cast the past aside when we walked through the monastery gates and took our oath. Never forget that.
I'd like to know something about the other novices.
I don't know much, but ask away.
What can you tell me about Siskin?
Not a lot. I don't know him. Actually, I don't know much about him at all, except that he's not a stickler for rules.
You really don't know anything about anyone? Well, thanks anyway.
Don't get upset. I'm sorry I can't tell you more. I just haven't felt like getting to know anyone yet.
Listen, brother. Is there anyone in the monastery who can help me get hold of something, well, something that's not so readily available?
If you're looking to get into mischief, I'm certainly not going to help you.
The rule of Saint Benedict. Readings on daily manipulation. Idleness is the enemy of the soul. Therefore, brethren, occupied at certain times.
Greetings, brother. I'm Gregor, and I'm new here.
Greetings to you, brother. I'm Jezhek, the oldest of the novices. I hope you'll like it here in the monastery and that you won't get into trouble.
Trouble?
You're young, perhaps intemperate. You might easily stray from the rules of the order. I suggest you get to know the older monks. You never know when it might come in handy.
Can you tell me something about yourself?
I would if there was anything noteworthy to say. But I'm just the ordinary son of a landowner, now a monk. There's nothing in my past, present, or future that anyone could find interesting.
Why did you join the monastery?
Because it was better than living in poverty. As the youngest son, I'm not entitled to inherit my father's estate, but he was kind enough to sell off some cattle and send me here. And you know what? I'm glad to be here. It's better than mucking out manure.
I'm interested in the other novices. Do you know anything about Antonius?
Only that he came to the monastery voluntarily, because he didn't want to work in his father's shop. Antonius is all right. You can rely on him. He won't betray your confidence. He's always happy to help, which is more than can be said for the other brothers.
Now for
What troubles you?
4.5 years. And still it seems like only yesterday she went to the good Lord.
Aye. You're right there.
I need to make a confession.
I'm no priest, but tell me what you've done. It's probably nothing to worry about.
I'm here in the monastery looking for a thief. He had a hand in burning down the Neuhof stud.
You don't say. And who are you to take such an interest?
That's not important.
Why are you telling me this anyway? What do you want from me?
Perhaps you could help me find him?
The missing thief? If I knew anything, I'd tell you, but I suppose it must be one of the novices. I've only recently heard about the Neuhof incident, and all the other brethren have been here much longer than that.
I know. Aside from me, there are only 4 novices, but still, I don't know which one he could be.
3? Please, leave me out of it. And you're right that it could be any one of them. No one knows anything about Lukas. Siskin might be a lot of things, but a monk isn't one of them. And Yodok is a slimy worm. It wouldn't surprise me if he was behind that massacre. Actually, the more I think about it, the less I like that Yodok. He's a treacherous rat who'd do anything to get in someone's good books. The thought of Yodok at Neuhof sends chills up my spine.
I don't think it was him. But please, don't tell a soul what we've been talking about.
Don't fret, my friend. Your secrets are locked inside my lips.
I know you're Pius, the man I've been looking for.
So you're finally sure? Tell me, Gregor, or Karl, or whatever your true name is. What do you want to do now?
I don't know. I'm not sure what I should do.
Well, at least you're prepared to think and not just play bloodhound for a pack of nobodies. And I'm glad you have your doubts.
I don't want to be like the people I'm looking for. If I have to kill, it should be for a reason, not because I enjoy it.
You know, we're both pawns in someone else's game. They have plans for us, but we don't have to let them use us. We can just forget all about it and go our own way. I was a bandit, and I was at Neuhof. I've robbed and stolen, but I swear to God I've never in my life slain innocent people. What I saw at Neuhof made me realize my life was worth shit, but I still had a chance to change for the better. Here in the monastery I've had plenty of time to think things over, but then you showed up and fucked it all up.
So the evildoer changes his ways and finds God. What exactly are you proposing?
Both of us can leave this place. You can go back to your people, and I can go somewhere where I can live out my life in peace, and no one will try to kill me. If we work together, we can both get what we want.
You're right. But the people who sent me will find out if I don't kill you.
They won't if we're clever about it. No one has to die. Before we make a run for it, we'll make it look like someone's killed me. Loads of blood, a tattered scrap of my habit, and footprints leading towards the river. No one will bother looking for my body there. There we'll split up. You go for your bounty, and I'll get as far away from here as I can.
Good. Let's do it your way.
Good. I'm glad that despite our initial discord, we could reach an agreement. Here, take something to calm your stomach. Now we'll need the keys to the monastery and some blood to make the tracks.
And where am I supposed to get my hands on blood in a monastery?
You'll find a parchment in the kitchen with a list of ingredients on it, all the things they're ordering. Add blood for making soup to the list, and when it's delivered the next day, take it before anyone notices it's even come.
What are you going to do?
I need to get ready for a long journey. Prepare supplies, get some normal clothing somehow, that sort of thing. You can escape in that habit, but I need to vanish as fast as I can.
What do I need the keys to the monastery for?
How else will we get out? This place is practically a prison.
Do you mean these keys?
What? I'm not going to ask you how you got your hands on those, you devious lad.
All right, that's everything I need to know. I can get started.
Excellent. Come and see me once you have everything. And try to be as fast as you can. And Gregor, thank you. Talk to me, brother.
I have everything we need for the escape.
Excellent. Straight after Vespers, we'll meet in the dormitory. We'll have to get it all done before the monks have finished dinner.
What exactly is your plan? And why can't we do it at night?
We're going to prepare a little riddle they'll never solve. And why at mealtime? Because we need the dormitory as well as the church to be empty. Then at night we'll escape. Do you follow? Take everything with you and don't forget the keys.
Good. Once evening mass ends, I'll be in the dormitory.
Praise be to God. For a moment there I was worried you weren't coming. Give me that blood. This is the exact spot where you pushed me off the gallery. And here's where you dragged my lifeless body. Thank you for helping me out. Now we must each go our own way.
Well, I can't just let you leave. You're a criminal.
What are you on about? Did you really help me escape just to betray me?
I'm truly sorry, but you were there at the Neuhof massacre, and you're a valuable witness. I'm taking you to the bailiff.
Gregor, you can't be serious. I thought I won't be taken anywhere. I'd rather die than lose my freedom.
I'll slaughter you!
This is one of the men who raised Neuhof. He should be able to tell you something useful. But I need to ask a favour. I need you to keep him out of sight so his accomplices don't know he's been caught.
Fine work, and I'll do as you say. I'll find a deep, dark hiding place where no one will hear me interrogate him. And while we're at it, I'll have your things brought here. Wait here a while.
Again.